I have no idea what the thing is coming up. Cause I don't know. I mean, I played with it before, but the guy was someone that was racist. He's like, well, I don't think black people gonna get that. So I think what it was, a lot of black people had got offended for what he said, because if you listen to everything he said, he tried to make it like, well, black people are so stupid anyway. They can't get what it was. And so we like, black people stupid. So the next man, Tim was like, are y'all on drugs? And anything like that. It was like, on drugs. You know, 'cause I can't have anybody in my band. And so we like, band? Dude, we don't even know who you are. We're not gonna play with somebody that's racist and then don't nobody know who he is. Well, if you guys are on drugs, man, that would be a good idea, to be on drugs and be playing instruments. It's like, this guy just keep talking about drugs. And what do you have against drugs, bro? You don't want to be bothered with that. So he was like, hey, if you guys do drugs, we like do drugs. I said, we already a band, man. What do you mean? Oh, well, if you are a band, then Tim's supposed to be. Well, we like, when we started talking to these guys, I asked these guys, hey, you guys would like for this group to have Tim in it? So the guys were like, no, we don't really too much know about this dude. And he was like, I said, okay, so because the guy called them and was like, hey, Damon, if the subject of this, because the guy just called me and said, hey, he wanted where he stays at a studio. And the guy was like, because when he came, he was an older white dude, okay? And he come out there pants unzipped and like he used the bathroom. Older guy. Or he had to be like in his 70s or 80s. We come out there playing these old little crappy music. Since you guys like black music. So the way he came off was kind of like, are you serious? He was a guitar center. And the guys, I meet the guys, nice guys, and I meet these guys, and the guy was talking about like, okay, Angie Stone, stuff like that. So I guess she must have overheard us saying black music, because at this point, I'm not understanding, like, we all talk about praise and worship music, like this is how we, what the hell is wrong with you? And the guy is like, hey, well, so he was talking about, yeah, man, hey, do they have a Mayday Parade here? I said, yeah, he said, because I was talking about when I was in drumline, and the other guy, he was on drum, he said he was a drummer. He said, man, I ain't did that in 40 years, I probably wouldn't even know where it went. I said, yeah, man, it's matter of fact, is this drumline in St. Louis? I said, yeah, what you call, not drumming people go online? I said, nah, real drumming people go. I said, the guys that I work with, going to start out with, trying to start, he said, oh man, I used to march the next thing when he was on the National Bridge. I was like, oh, okay. He said, yeah, man. And, I mean, we used to, I told we used to march all the way down there, man. We didn't even have no bus. I said, oh, really? He said, yeah, man. I was about when back in the day when we was drunk over. Yeah, these people don't know about no real drunk over back in the day. I said, okay, so what drunk over did you march with? Or who did you play with? He said, man, I done played with some of the best of the best. So this is what he want. He said, man, I didn't march with him, marching with Tony Williams. I'm like, Tony Williams, huh? I said, yeah, funny. Right? He said, this guy, man, I'm talking about Tony, man, he's a killer, man. Guys like Memorial Lances. I said, oh, you watched the Lance? He said, oh, yeah, man. I came over with them guys. God dang, man. It's like he's still stuck. He says, oh, man, I'm talking about back in there. Real drunk court back in the day. You know, he said, what you know about them? I said, well, I grew up looking at this stuff. He said, okay, I said, so what year did you march? He said, man, I can't even remember what year I marched. I know Johnny Bond, him. I said, oh, really? He said, man, I'm talking about. Okay, Keith Huckleberry and Keith Evans, I know all them guys. He said, what you, I said, yeah, Keith, yeah, my dad, okay. He said, okay, he said, man, these guys don't know for real drumming. I'm a musician. He said, man, I didn't went up to some of these schools. I'm like, man. He said, man, I don't know if these people know what they're doing. So that's probably why. Damn thing. He says, I know Huckleberry and Evans and all the rest of these guys. He said, and I tell you right now, I done marched with some of the best. And best, he said, oh man, he said, because I went out to Fox a couple of years ago. And I went out there and I saw something that I'm like, when are they going to get back to this man stuff? He said, that made me go buy me drum sticks and a drum pad and get it going. You know, I'm like, oh man, he said, and you know, I don't know who their drum line instructor over there is, but it just made me get emotional. I had to go say, hey, I need to go get me some drumsticks. He said, no, looking online, and you know, he said, Guitar Centers, when we laughed, he said, man, Guitar Center is crazy. You know, you'll be a fool to go in here. And I'd be like, yo, as soon as I can find me another site that sells this type of stuff, I would never come in here again. I said, you wouldn't. He said, these guys are a bunch of rip-offs. You know, these guys do not know anything about drums. And I asked, like, more about for this kind of stuff. Man, you know, these guys, they tell me what's up, I don't understand what you're looking for. Then we call somebody from the guitar. I'm like, I'm not looking for nobody from the guitar. I don't play guitar. I play drums. I said, yeah, you know, I think I have everyone has that problem. He said, man, and these guys do not, and they go get everybody to work here. I said, well, I don't think these guys are not musicians because I don't understand why. What really gets me is I don't even know why they even had a show. They don't have. he says, so when I told him, he said, oh man. He said, Evans. He said, well, what you, maybe, he said, I know Evans. He said, what more you march with? I said, oh man. Yeah, I said, I can't remember.